10 centimeters difference.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2018 Nova Scotia Junior Provincial. I am Emily Manuel, and sitting next to me is Raquel Bachman, and we're going to be your commentators during this game. Today, the game is against Team Caitlin Jones and Team Stephanie Carson. So we're going to do a little segment here called Meet the Teams. Raquel, do you want to take it off?
I would love to. So first rock, we have Lindsay Burgess throwing of Team Caitlin Jones. Just give you a little info on Lindsay here. She's 18 years old and a first-year DAL student. This is also her first year with this team. She's been curling for 10 years. Previous accomplishments, she represented Nova Scotia at the Under-18 Atlantics in 2014. And she's also a good athlete all around, playing track and soccer as well. So good job, Lindsay.
Man, I wish I could do that. I was horrible at soccer.
Yeah. Curling, obviously the best sport, though. But
oh, of course.
Good to be a well-rounded athlete.
We are a little biased, though, aren't we?
Lindsay is also curling with her cousin Carly for the first time this year. Carly's the second stone. Of course, most people from Nova Scotia are familiar with Carly. She's a world champion and youth Olympic champion, so we'll see her throw in a little bit.
And then at mate position is Kristen Clark, and skip is Caitlin Jones. So for the Stephanie Carson team, throwing lead, we have
Megan Belland. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Megan is 17 years old, and this is actually just her second year curling, which is pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
So good job to Megan for being at the provincials in only her second year of curling. That's a pretty good feat. Her hometown is Halifax, Nova Scotia, and she is in her last year at Sacred Heart.
Nice.
Then at second stone, we have Madison Dahl. She's also 17. She's been curling for 9 years. Her hometown is Bridgewater, and she is a senior at the Bridgewater Junior Senior High School.
Mate is Stephanie Carson, and it is Isabel Reeves.
They had a little lineup change
before
the provincials.
Yeah, and then their skip is Stephanie Carson.
Yes, all 17 years of age. Stephanie is from Dartmouth. Her older sister Julie is the fifth on this team. And Isabel Reeves is the third, and she's from Berwick.
Pretty open end so far, just an exchange of hits. Keeping it pretty open, settling in.
See Caitlin Jones standing behind Stephanie there. This is her first year to Nova Scotia. She's a DAL student. She's from Saskatchewan, but moved here to attend Dalhousie and play with this team. So welcome to Caitlin. See Carly taking the hack now. We've got the lead on Carson throwing their last stone. Nice hit.
Pretty simple open end.
Common for the teams to just want to kind of get the first end underway, figure out what the ice is doing, get comfortable with the speed.
Definitely.
Nothing too crazy yet.
Is this our first look at Carly? Second shot by Carly.
Looks like that one might be biting, but it is a bit hard to tell from our vantage point. Yeah,
I'm going with yes.
Definitely in the rings now.
Yeah.
Still just an exchange of hits.
This is Madison Dahl throwing.
It's like a nice release there.
It does. On it pretty hard.
Just looking to stick around here, but they are just going to overcurl on that one. Going to give Jones the opportunity to come around. They don't have hammer this end, so they would love to steal if possible, but I'm sure the goal was just to force Reeves to a blank.
This is Carly's second shot.
So this is the Jones team's first game. They were the #1 seed, so they had a bye in the first draw. There is just 6 girls teams at provincials here, so a little bit less than last year, which is why the slight change in format. This is Carson's second game. They beat Isabel Ladouceur last night. Ladouceur girls out of Lakeshore. I watched that game. It came down to the last rock, so that was a well-played game by both teams.
Are we looking for a double on this one or just a straight hit? Oh, straight hit on that.
Just a straight hit.
Roll out.
Looks like they're getting a bit of curl there. She over-curled on both of those, so we'll keep an eye on that. It looked like she threw them both pretty well, so might just have to adjust and take a little bit more ice for the next shots. You can see it doesn't look like the ice is curling a ton. They just have middle of the 8-foot for Kristen here.
Yeah, some of the feedback from the teams is saying that the ice is pretty straight.
This one's looking pretty good. They're not sweeping it too hard. Just waiting for it to finish a bit. Just a bit short.
Yeah.
I think they wanted that one top 12?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was the goal. Looks like we might have a come around on this one. Maybe even a freeze onto the back one. Back 12, blue rock.
So that's Isabel throwing. In 2017, she was an under-19 mixed provincial champion. Congrats to Isabel. She was also a 2016 under-18 provincial champion.
This one coming back pretty far here. Just by that blue. Jones' team is going to follow her down. Hopefully top 4 area. I think is the goal.
They just saw the Carson team play this, so they should have a pretty good idea of what the ice is going to do on the shot.
Getting a bit of curl on this shot here. Must be pretty close weight. That's a pretty good shot.
Really well judged by the sweepers. They let it curl as much as they can. You can still see about 3/4 of it, so it is accessible, but I think that might be the best that they could do with how the ice is curling for that shot, so well done.
Little fist pump on that one. Seems to be curling a lot on this one.
Did manage to roll that one in the house, but that's not quite what they were looking for. They would have loved to hit the one that was in the house. However, they did open up the front, so that's a pretty good plan B shot. It'll hopefully give them another opportunity on their next shot to remove those blue ones.
Jones' team is electing to guard here. Pretty straightforward. Keep their 2 blue rocks protected.
They could also throw the hit on this one, but the yellow rock is third shot, so it's really not a threat to them. So they're going to put a bit of pressure on the Carson team and force them to make a good shot. If they were to hit the other one, then the Carson team would have a pretty open hit and would likely score their point. So trying to force a little pressure here.
This is Caitlin Jones. And Raquel, where is Caitlin from originally?
She is from Saskatchewan. So she represented Saskatchewan at the Canadian Juniors in 2017, where she got 5th place. She was the second team all-star skip there. So for those who don't know what that means, is that would mean she had the second highest percentages of all the skips at the Nationals. So that's pretty great.
Very impressive.
She also got a bronze medal at the Canada Winter Games in 2015. So she would have played against Carly there, because Carly was at the Canada Games representing Team Nova Scotia and got a silver medal.
Silver medal, yep.
So they may have met in the playoffs. I'm not entirely sure, but they quite familiar with each other before this year, as they would have seen each other on the national stage quite a few times.
For sure.
Caitlin also placed 4th at the Optimus U18 Curling Championships in 2014, which has now turned into the Under-18 Nationals. The first year that took place was last year. I believe it was in New Brunswick.
Yes.
And so that was the first year for that event. Callie Moore's team, who was at this provincial championship, placed 4th. And I believe our boys' team, Team Abraham, also made the playoffs. I believe, did they get 3rd? I know they were in the playoffs, but I can't remember off the top of my head what they placed. So it was a good year for Nova Scotia at the inaugural U18 championship.
Team Carson here looking to move a little bit of granite. Just one guard there. Maybe would have liked to move some of the ones in the house, but just a simple hit and roll on that one.
Second shot here from Caitlin Jones. Just going to put another guard on that. For Stephanie to either make a hit or a nice draw on her last one. They're on this hard already. Saying it's a 2, which is a halfway guard, so I think that's what they're looking for. So they might be sweeping more so for line off of a bit now.
Probably have a good finish here in a moment. That's a pretty good shot there.
You can hear some clapping. There's on ice seating for this event, so that was some of the Jones team's fan giving a round of applause for that good shot.
Brave souls sitting out in the cold.
It's a little chilly. It's always nice to have parents and friends watching and supporting. Try and mimic a national event as much as you can, having people out on the ice there. It's nice than just having people behind the glass.
And honestly, I think the players really appreciate it too, having them out there cheering on and whatnot. So if you are around and you want to come down and check out some of the games, I know the teams would appreciate some of the cheering and fans on the ice.
Yes, come on down to the Sackville Sports Stadium.
So I think Stephanie is going to draw here for her last one. Try and get somewhere on the forefoot, maybe a piece of the button for her one. It's going to be pretty close with line, but the ice is moving pretty good. They're hard on this one.
Just a bit of an overcurl there.
Maybe a bit light as well. Looks like a steal of 2 for Team Jones.
So Team Carson will be looking to rebound a bit this end. Just got to regroup. I thought they played pretty well that end. Just a couple late misses. So they'll probably be looking to get their deuce again next end. Either that or they might just want to try and keep it open and kind of regroup for the third. If anyone would like to give any shout outs to any of the people watching the game, you can find me on Twitter and I will mention you online. It's at Raquel Bachman. So if you'd like, you can tweet at me and I will mention you on air here.
All right, Lindsay's going to start us off on the second end. And I think they're looking to go in the house. Also should mention that on sheet E we have Team Moore and Team Nodding, and it is a blank after the first end, and they're on to the second as well.
This is Team Moore's first draw of the event. They're seeded second, so they also had the bye. Team Nodding won their first game last night against Team Daly, so they'll be looking to try and bring that momentum here against Team Moore.
So Lindsay is a guard on her first shot. Seems that they're going to be coming around on this one. Looking for a draw. Might have a bit of speed to it right now.
Sweeper's just watching this one come down, not doing anything yet. Looks like it's trying to slow down, but this ice has been pretty fast from what I've seen so far.
Might stick around.
Caitlin working that hard behind the tee line.
Man, that skipper's sweeping.
That did stick around, back 12.
Lindsay's second shot here. Nice hit.
It's like she's just trying to throw control weight, especially on ice that's straight. You want to try and keep your weight down so you don't want to roll out. You want to keep your rocks around to try and force the other team to make their shot.
Gives your sweepers a lot more control over when they sweep as well, which is nice.
Exactly.
Good hit and stick there.
Team Carson staying on the offense and drawing around the guard here. They could hit that backstone, but it's really not much danger to them in the back of the 12-foot, so they want to try and set up their deuce, so they're going to try and put one top 4-foot or top 8-foot. Really, they just want to stay above the tee line and try and get as buried as they can.
Megan with her second shot here.
She should be close on this one. Just needs to take a couple feet off of her first, but they aren't sweeping this one yet. I think they're indicating that they might want to come to the back one. It does look like it's slowing down, though, nicely.
Want to be careful not to lose the line there, if anything. Not bad.
Not a bad shot.
No. Gives them a little bit of a buried rock as well.
Team Jones is also staying on the offense. They're going to use that center guard that they put up. That yellow one isn't a threat to them, so they're going to try and sink a good one here. It's Carly throwing. This whole Jones team attends Dalhousie University. Carly's in her second year, and this team will be representing Dalhousie at AUS, which is the Atlantic University Sport Championship. Kristen was a member of the team the last 2 years, and last year the team that I was a part of got second place at the AOS Championship, losing to St. Avex, and the year before placed first at the AOS Championship and got fourth place at CIS both years. So
well done.
This team will be looking to improve on that a little bit. I know they'll be looking to go to CIS, the U Sport Championship, which is in Alberta this year, and this is a Universiade year, so they do have the chance to
represent Canada.
I'm not sure where the Universiade is.
No, me either.
It's kind of like the university version of the Olympic Games for those who aren't familiar. It's a multi-sport event. So you have skiing, curling, hockey, all of that. So it's a really great opportunity for the players who get to go.
Carson team just rolling off there a bit and spilling to the back 12. Still leaves Jones blue sitting shot rock. And again, they're just looking to draw in there. Their goal this end is to steal for sure. Carly with her second here. Really got to go on this guy here.
Just a bit light. Not what they're looking for, but not a bad result. They do have both of those rocks available for a run back, and they're sitting shot stone. Even though they are behind the tee line, they're still not in a bunch of trouble yet. They're still looking pretty good for a steal if they can get one in here, but Team Carson is going to have something to say about that. So. That is Madison throwing here.
Line seems pretty good so far. Hopefully weight's not too bad. It is coming a little bit deep. So that will stop back 12, but that still leaves Jones as the shot rock.
Unfortunately, even though yellow has 3 blue stones in there, none of them are counting, and they're behind the tee line. They don't have an opportunity to get the blue shot stone out because it is frozen in that pile of rocks back there. So Team Carson will be wanting to get one in front of the tee line because unfortunately those yellow rocks aren't much use to them right now. It's Kristen Clark throwing. This is her last year in juniors. She'll be moving on to women's next year, but I'm sure she would love to finish this last year with another trip to the Canadian juniors. She's been curling for 8 years, and she is 20 years old.
That's a good shot.
I think they can see some of that, but I'm not sure how much.
Yeah, and the risk too here, if they do try to hit it, is not to run it back onto any of that blue in the back there and possibly leave Jones sitting 2 in the end.
So they're probably just going to be throwing a down weight, try and hit it as close to the nose as they can, then try and force Jones to make a good shot on it because they won't want to jam in the back and leave the other team shot. It's looking pretty good. Might need to curl a little bit more. And they are shot stone. It's close, but yellow is shot, so that was a nice shot there.
Yes. Jones is sitting second and third shot. Looks like they might be able to get a nice hit and roll in behind and sit 1, 2, and 3.
They're taking pretty tight ice. They know that the ice runs straight, And I know they have faith that their sweepers can hold it, so that's why they're taking quite a bit less ice. Maybe throwing a bit more weight than the Carson team elected to, because they had a bit more ice.
Does look like it's hanging out there right now. Trying to get Carly to get the rock to curl a bit. Does send the yellow one back into the little collection of rocks we got going here.
So blue is shot rock, yellow's second shot. The one that they were indicating that they were thinking about hitting is third shot, so they could hit that one, but they might be better off to draw here and try and sink one into the 4-foot. If they do hit that top one, I don't think they can roll in just because of how the ice is curling, so I think they're looking at the draw now. If they are heavy, they can come to the back blue one, and I think if they tap that back blue one, then they could be shot, but they're calling a timeout here, so we'll see what Coach Shane Carson has to say. Shane is the father of Stephanie, as well as Julie, their 5th player. He has 11 years of coaching experience, so he's got a long resume of things that he's accomplished with these girls. I think Shane is very respected. He's a good coach. Did he get the award at the juniors last year for the coaching award?
I believe so, actually.
I believe he did, yeah. So that award is voted by
all the players.
All the players of the teams decide which coach they thought kind of had displayed fair play and really just the coach that you think did the best job. So he won the award last year, if we remember correctly. So that was good for Shane.
And Coach Andrew Atherton is out here as well right now talking to his team.
Andrew's been around the curling scene for a very long time.
A really long time.
He's been coaching Carly for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
The other girls are a bit newer to him, but this would be, I believe, Kristen's 3rd year with him. So Andrew has done a lot for these girls. He's been with them through all of their championships and big wins.
There's definitely no one as dedicated out there as Andrew in terms of sticking with these girls as well. So
spends a lot of time training with them, so that's always great to see.
It for sure is. Definitely need that coach that's always dedicated.
Yeah. So we see Carson is electing to play the peel. I do like this shot. Open it up for their last one. They don't want to give up any more points here. They really want to score. Even if they get a single, it's the second end, so it is good to score in the even ends here. Theoretically, if you score in every even end, then you'd have hammer in the 10th end, which is always what you're shooting for. So see how they execute this one.
On it right away, so we'll see what ends up happening here. Moved a bit of granite around, but I think it leaves...
I think that ends up not bad because I think they can see that one in the back 8-foot. So theoretically, depending on what the Jones team does here, they might be able to tap that one out on their last shot for 2. I think Jones wants to draw in on her next one, though, to make that a little difficult. And it does look like it's pretty buried. So that would be a difficult shot, but that was a good attempt by the Carson team.
Even just to open up the back of the blue one there and have access to it so that if they do happen to hit it, it will go out now.
Yeah.
It's not frozen on that yellow one anymore, which is nice.
Exactly.
This is first shot for Caitlin Jones. Just a nice draw around, bury it nice, set up that steal.
Want to keep this one above the tee line. Don't want to set up a double for the Carson team.
Or any kind of way to freeze in there and really lock in and in their point.
Kristen's yelling hard and the girls are really on it. Easing off a bit now.
I have a feeling it's on that top blue guard. So that just took off on them.
Yeah, that really did. Not sure if that picked because we really haven't seen any rocks curl that much, but
I was also thinking too, we haven't seen a whole lot on that path yet.
That's true.
That could just be a heavier spot.
looks like they're taking a bit more ice on this side than the other side, so this side might have a bit more curl. Girls are on it already.
Yeah, looking like it might be doing the same kind of thing as Caitlin's just did.
Yeah, I think just a bit light on that one. She could have thrown back 8-weight because she could have came to that back one, but you always want to be right on the tee line, so. It's not a horrible result, though, because they do have that yellow stone that they can promote on their next one. So it's good that where it did over curl, they had enough weight to roll off. So it's definitely a usable stone on their next one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that on the other side here with the blue one, Jones is electing to do a little bit of a tap into the forefoot, put a little bit of pressure on Carson with her last one.
They could elect to hit the yellow one that I just mentioned, but they wouldn't want to run it back into any of their stones. So this is definitely a safer call, and if they make this perfect, it's a really good result.
Must be close here. Looks like the line's coming nice. Did they leave it too long here? Nope, that's a great setup there for a steal.
So a lot of pressure on the Carson team here. They're gonna have to either make a good draw or tap in order to score on this one.
It's tricky because they haven't been on this side too much, so they might be unsure of kind of what they prefer here, whether it's the draw or the tap. Luckily, there's a lot of backing back there if they do decide to draw or tap. Everybody loves a little bit of security.
Yeah, they've definitely got some options here.
Elected to go with the tap. Probably be looking to hit about half of that. Send it back into the forefoot for their 1 point.
Sweepers want to be making sure that they're really communicating on this one. You can do this kind of on your own and tap it right into the forefoot, but if it is a bit heavier than they think, they can use that one at the back of the forefoot. So really like to see the girls communicating on this one and making sure they know that there's a few options. Don't have to make it just one way. Stephanie plans on attending St. Mary's University next year, starting the commerce program, so she'd be attending the same university as her big sister, and I'm sure we would see them on the Atlantic University Sport curling team together.
It's coming here, close. Maybe just not quite enough weight on that. That would be a steal of 2, I believe, again for Team Jones.
It's a really good line, just not quite enough weight on that one. And I think that goes to what we were saying. They haven't really played that side a ton. They were mostly playing on the other side of the sheet, so maybe just not quite sure what the speed was on that.
We'll mention as well that Team Moore and Notting are currently in their third end, and it looks like Team Notting picked up a big 3 spot in the second end. So the game is fully underway there.
Third end is underway here with Lindsay delivering the first stone. I think they indicated that they want to go on the 4-foot. They have a 4-point lead now, so they really don't need rocks in play. It's still lots of time left for Team Carson to make a comeback, but I'm sure Team Jones is going to start hitting and peeling a lot more than they did the first two ends now that they've got a pretty good lead.
Yeah, by no means is this game over. 10 ends gives you lots of time to change it up and get back in this game.
See, a timeout was just called on sheet E. There's lots of rocks in play, so that one is not being streamed, but we will try and keep you as updated as possible. You can also follow along with the scores on nscurl.com, or Curling Zone is also posting the scores, so lots of ways to keep posted.
Nice corner guard there. Sorry, Raquel.
Shout out to Bell Alliant TV1, who is the provider for this. It's great exposure for the curlers to, you know,
get a little TV time.
Get a little TV time. All these girls work really hard, put a lot of time into training. And you can see on their jerseys, they've got some sponsors. So it really helps to be able to, you know, help pay for their equipment, traveling costs, hotels, food for sure. So I'll just give a shout out to some of the sponsors. For one, the sponsor of the event is AMJ Campbell.
Yes.
So them and Bell Alliant TV1 are supporting NS Curl and putting this event on. So without them, this wouldn't be happening. So thank you to them. As well as the Lakeshore Curling Club. This is the 4th year that they have hosted the provincials in the last 6, I believe.
Yep.
So that's a lot of work for them. Ice maker Brian Rayfuse puts a lot of time into this, so thank you to Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
Shout out to Brian. He's coached both me and Emily.
Yeah.
So we're quite familiar with him. He's a great ice maker and strategist. You'll see him coaching Team Lattice Sur this week. So yeah, I see on the back of Team Carson's jerseys are Emera and Rogers. So I'm sure they would love to give them a shout out for providing them with some sponsorship money to help out with their training. Paying off so far as they had a win number 1 in the tournament. And then I'll just take a look at the Team Jones jerseys. They have Superline Fuels, Clearwater, Murphy's Fish and Chips,
And
ITS Construction. I believe New Scotland Clothing is on there. Leg Health. I'm trying to read them here. Some of the writing is small, but I'm doing my best.
Carly with a peel coming up here.
They also have Gold Line as their equipment sponsor, so I'm sure they would like to give them a big thank you.
Carson looking to replace that corner guard that was just peeled off by Jones. Try and set up a bit of an end here.
All of these teams you can see have the same yellow broom heads, so Several years ago, there was a bit of the controversy with the broom heads and the directional sweeping, so that has been eliminated now. All of the teams, although they use different equipment providers like Goldline or Balance Plus, whatever your choice, it's all the same fabric, so you don't have to worry about one team having an advantage over the other in terms of sweeping. The advantage comes from how much time they spend in the gym on their strength and technique, so they're putting a lot of work in there in that aspect as well.
Straight hit here for Carly. Maybe looking for a little bit of a roll.
Is probably a little bit cleaner than the Carson team is hoping for. They'd like to get their deuce here, but there is some rocks that they can work with. Looking at either, I think, freezing there. They can also put up a corner guard, or they can draw to the back of the 8-foot around the stone that's half in the 8, half in the 12. So they've still got lots to work with here. Still early in the end, second stone, so see what they can generate.
Sweepers are hard on it. Looking like it's coming in not too bad. Want to freeze right on that.
They would have liked that to curl a rock more, but that's still a really good shot by Madison. Perfect weight, just wanted to curl a bit more, but that's still forcing the Jones team to take it out. If they don't make it perfect, they might leave a pocket for Carson to work with. So got some rocks to work with here. If Kristen can make this good, they will be able to get out the yellow as well as hit the other blue one and spin up and clear the whole thing out. They might be looking at playing that.
Yeah, their goal here is to keep things away from the back of the house and not give Carson too much to work with. Clean pick there on the yellow.
It's a good shot. They might have wanted it to roll out completely, although they weren't throwing a bunch of weight, but that does give the Carson team quite a bit to work with. They're looking at hitting. They could also play a freeze on the right side of the stone as we're looking at it now. And then Jones would have a pretty hard time removing it, but Madison did just throw the right weight, so they have an idea, and that's the shot that they're choosing. So they should be close on this one. They did just play it, just maybe need a little bit less ice to get the right line. The Nottingham team is, our game is still in the third end. They were a bit faster than our game, but we're starting to catch up. They've had, I think, a couple timeouts, so third end is still in play over there.
Comes just a little bit deep on that, but it's still in play, so might be able to bring that back into play and count it in a little after a couple rocks have been moved out of play.
There's still 3 rocks to come from each team here, so still some opportunities.
Anything can happen.
Looks like the Jones team is moving to the offense. The Yellowstone is 4th shot, so although it is still in play, it's a bit tricky to remove. So they're just going to ignore that. It's behind the tee line. They're going to, I think, try to go top 12 and put on the pressure.
Sweepers are hard on that one right away. Looks like it's going to be close. Say that's a pretty good sweeping judging call there.
That's a good shot. We'll see what the Carson team wants to do here. They could open it up for their last one, or they could try and draw now, get their draw weight down and try and generate a deuce that way. I think they're also looking at the double. That's pretty flat, but if you throw it hard, it's definitely there.
The risk, too, on a shot like that is if you hit the outside blue one a little bit too thin and hit that other blue one a little bit too thin, you might lose your own as well. So they want to save as many shots as many rocks as they can of theirs, try and generate some points.
So they elected to play the hit here. It's a really good shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Poked that blue one into a hole there, so it is accessible now. Jones is going to try and hit this yellow one out, might even make the double, but they're just focused on getting out that one in the 4-foot. But Carson will have a couple ways into the rocks in the 4-foot now. Trying to make this one curl a little bit. It's a very good shot. You can hear some applause from the Jones team fans. And an update on sheet E. Notting stole a point there, so they're leading more 4-0 into the 4th end.
Raquel, what do you like here? What do you think you should play?
Looks like they're playing the draw, which I don't mind. That's probably the best shot there. You could come through the hole and play the hit, but then Jones would just be able to remove it too, so that's probably not the greatest option. The draw here, if you make it good, then Jones' team probably can't remove it. And then you might have an opportunity for 2. It'll be difficult, but right now this team is just focused on getting their point. There's a lot of blue rocks in there, so they want to try and sink a rock and get on the scoreboard. What do you think?
I definitely agree. I think the draw is the shot for sure.
They just need to be careful that they have the right ice because they don't want to crash on either of those guards. They've got a little bit of a port to navigate. But they have, I believe, thrown a few rocks down this side, so they should have an idea of what it's going to do.
Does look like that rock's curling quite a bit, though. Hopefully the sweepers can hold it.
This is the same stone that last end we saw came light and over-curled. So I'm not sure if that's maybe Stephanie might have just thrown them a bit light, or they might want to keep an eye on that rock just to... Sometimes there are differences in the rocks. Some run straighter than others, so she might have a mismatched pair. A lot of teams will try and match rocks. These teams, before the event, they get a practice on each sheet with all of the rocks. Some teams will keep a rock book, try and keep note on what the rocks are doing, so maybe just a little note for them on that one. Either that or just have to adjust and take a little bit more ice next time.
Jones team looking to guard here. That shot rock on the back 4.
line here is more important than the weight. Really anywhere in front of the line that they're looking to guard. But it looks like this one needs to curl a bit. Still need a cross center.
Carly really trying to get some curl on this rock.
Not quite what they were looking for. The weight was good, but just wanted that to curl a little bit more.
Does leave that blue one, I think, fully exposed if they do elect to hit and stick.
So yeah, you can see there's a hole. They can play right through the hole, hit on the nose, and get shot rock. They can also draw or tap the one they just threw. The tap is probably the most difficult as there's a bit of a stagger there, but there is enough room between them that they could do that if that's what they elected. Still a tough shot though. A lot of pressure that the Jones team is putting on here. So they're just gonna play the hit here. I don't believe we've seen a hit coming center line away.
Away, yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure how this one will curl. They might have played a shot like this in their pregame practice to have an idea, as well as they played last night and they might have seen a couple of rocks in this path.
They are waiting for this rock to curl a little bit more by the guard. I think she got it. Nice shot. Well done.
That was a good shot. There was some applause there from both teams' parents. Always good to see supporting good shots instead of just the team that you're cheering for. So good job by Team Carson to get on the scoreboard. I'm sure they'll be looking to steal next end. Down 3, lots of game left to play.
Carson team here looking to set up some guards. This one's looking a little bit hot right now.
They would like this one to be in the free guard zone where Jones can't hit it. So you don't want this one touching the paint, but this one just a little bit heavy, so I'm sure Jones will hit this. Probably try and blank this end, although they would love to score another deuce, but with a 3-point lead they don't really need another 2 right now. They just want to hold on to the hammer if possible with a blank. Carly indicating that their rock is just a bit more weight than they were hoping for, so they're just waiting for it to curl, not sweeping this one.
See if it sticks around. And it does.
It's a good shot. It's important for them to stick around on that rock because Carson's going to throw another guard here. So no matter what happens this end, Jones does have that rock, so they can just keep peeling and banking on that one. Even if on their last stone they have to peel a rock out, they know that they're going to have a counter over there.
Taking another attempt at the guard here. Looking like a little bit better weight. Just cleaning it, keeping an eye on it.
Just a slight over curl, but that's still a really usable rock, so they'll be happy with that one.
Jones electing to come around that, draw in behind. still haven't seen a whole lot over on this side, so we'll watch and see how this guy goes.
So they do have time clocks in play, using thinking time for this event. So we're in the fourth end. The Jones team has 27 minutes and 51 seconds left, and the Carson team has 23 minutes and 45 seconds to go. So usually after the fifth end, you still want to have about 20 minutes left on your clock, about the halfway point. So Carson might just want to be a little bit aware of their time clocks. Still full 2 ends until the halfway point. They still do have lots of time, but you want to make sure you have enough time in the last half of the game for when it really comes down to those important shots.
There's half buried there on that rock.
Usually each team has someone dedicated to keeping an eye on the time clocks. You don't want every player looking at it because then it can be a bit of a distraction. So each team usually designates one player. And if they're playing a bit slow, you can just kind of remind your teammates to pick up the pace.
Just a little rub off the corner guard there. Still leaves them with 2 nice guards that are usable. Maybe set up a steal here.
Bit of an overcurl from Carly there. She won't be super happy with that one. Gives Carson an opportunity to, I'm not sure if they're drawing or hitting that one. She put the broom down pretty fast. They're gonna hit that one. But Carson's got some rocks to work with. They've got a center guard. They have a chance to hit. And they also have some guards on the side there. So hoping to steal. They're set up pretty good. But
This one is coming fast.
On the other side, Jones is sitting too, so they're set up pretty good themselves as well. They're gonna keep on the offense, talking about going around the center guard, try and get their deuce. They could also peel the center guard, but they're looking to score 2 here, so they're just going to draw around. They're not too concerned.
This one looks a little bit hot. Just owed the back 12 there.
Bit of a miss there from Carly. I think she might have got a bit fooled on her first one, over curling a bit. She might have just over-adjusted a little bit too much. So this opens the door a little bit for Team Carson. There's not too much pressure on them anymore, just the rock over in the 12-foot. They're not going to bother hitting that one right now because they want to use their center guard.
Risk here is not to overcurl and expose themselves on the other side, so they need to be a little bit safe on the sweeping call there. I believe that's half buried.
Might have, yeah, peeked out just a touch.
Jones can see probably about half of it.
It's a good shot, though.
It is.
Right on the tee line. Mostly buried. They can't ask for much more than that. Puts the pressure on the Jones team. They haven't had too much pressure on them yet so far this game, so making them think about that. They've got a few options here. They can either just pick that stone out, they could peel the guard, or they can play more of a down weight tap or freeze to it, but I'm expecting to see a hit out of them.
Even if it's just hack weight, board, they can control it a bit more on the hit. Looks like they have called a timeout.
Coach Andrew just gonna talk to the team here. With a 3-point lead, they want to make sure that they can score on their last one. Even scoring one this end is good. It's an even end. That would bring them to a 4-point lead, so they just want to make sure they don't give up a steal this end.
I can also see Andrew saying for them to peel the guard.
Absolutely.
They don't need it.
It's always hard to make the perfect guard, so.
Exactly. Puts a little bit more pressure on the Carson team again.
Where the Jones team does have that rock in the 12-foot, they still do have a chance for a deuce. So peeling the guard really keeps that deuce available for them. Looks like they've elected to peel. It's tight ice, but this is a very straight ice, as we've seen so far. So they'll just throw this nice and positive with big weight.
Definitely being mindful of some of the stuff that's over on the sides there, not to disturb any of that. Just have a clean pick. I'm sorry, I mean peel.
I mean, it is a pick too.
Yeah.
And if they did ever happen to be wide on this, they would pick the back one, but that's not what they're hoping to do. Nice peel.
Just by that yellow one there. Carson definitely looking to set up another guard here. Replace that one that was just peeled out.
Probably want to keep this one relatively close to the wings, maybe, or to the rings, maybe 4 feet out. I don't think you'll see the Jones team try a run back, so. They're not touching this one yet, but it looks pretty close to me.
Probably a good finish here in a couple seconds. Great shot. I give that a 4 out of 4.
Definitely a good shot, and Jones does have to be careful here again. They were pretty close to hitting the side yellow one on the last one, but they did just see this shot, so I'm sure they'll be very close.
Clean peel there.
So they're just going to try and replicate the same guard. Jones will probably peel for another shot, and then Carson will have to make a decision whether they want to throw another guard or hit that one in the wings.
Even exposing a piece on either side is not bad either for a guard. Just hoping it will stop here. Say that's pretty good.
It's a pretty high guard, so if Jones wanted, she could play at the one in the house, but they're just going to peel this for now. Update from Sheet E, the Moore team did get 2 in the 4th end, so they are currently down 4-2 to Team Notting.
On it right away. Well done to avoid all of that on the side there.
So Carson's just going to try and make the same shot here. She's going to ignore the ones that rock on the
12 foot.
in the 12 foot. She just made this guard, so she should be really close on this one. This will be also a good opportunity for her to see if her rocks are running identical. You always like when your skip has the opportunity to throw the same shot twice.
Not touching it so far.
Looks pretty close.
Yeah, it does.
Love to see them clean this one.
I would too.
You never know when a piece of debris is going to show up on the ice. So if it's close, unless you want it to pick, it's a really good idea to clean the rocks. You never want to see someone's provincial dreams die on a pick.
Looks like Jones has elected to draw in there. Need a piece of the button. Maybe even bump that yellow one back a bit.
I think this is the first time we'll see Caitlin really have the pressure put on her. The game has been pretty well in their favor so far, so we'll see how she responds to this one. Looks like the Jones team has had pretty good draw weight so far, so I'm sure they'll be giving Skipper lots of good information. Might be using some split times or some hog-to-hog times to know how the ice is running.
She definitely has 2 good sweepers in Lindsay and Carly. On it right away there. It is moving, curling a lot here.
Looks like they're really working this one. Looks
For
a bit light, but they are very good sweepers, so we'll see. And just
And
not
it will
quite
stop
there.
short, yeah.
So really good end by Team Carson. Right from the get-go, they stuck with their game plan, and they managed to get a steal. So they're still down 2 points, but it seems they're starting to get a better feel on the ice and starting to put a bit more pressure on the Jones team.
Which is definitely nice to see for sure. Well done, Team Carson, for that end. Megan will start us off for the 5th here.
Again, Stephanie is indicating for a guard, so they're just going to try and have the same game plan. Keep the pressure on, see if they can get another steal. If not, a force to 1 wouldn't be too bad.
Looks like they're on it right away with some sweeping. So we'll see where this one ends up. Really got to go.
Definitely want this one over the hog line.
For sure.
It's good sweeping there.
Yeah, great sweep by those guys.
It was Isabel and Madison. They've been curling together for quite a few years now. As well as Stephanie. Their lead, Megan, is the new one on the team. Last year they curled with Taylor Stevens, who is now on the Callie Moore team. The Taylor Stevens team I believe finished 4th at the junior provincials last year. So they'll be hoping to finish higher up this year. Everyone's gone in for the #1 spot, so I'm sure it'll be an exciting finish to the week.
Jones slide a little. Oh, they're looking for a car here. Right on the button.
Got some hot shots going on here. Really impressed with this lead Megan here for only her 2nd year of curling. She's making a lot of really nice draws and guards. I watched some of their game last night too. She made a lot of really good shots, so she must be really dedicated, working hard, and some good results are happening. Another good guard here. Not sure if they were trying to guard or draw, but
I definitely don't think that's a bad outcome
yeah,
at all.
Definitely a good shot. So great first pair from Megan. It's sometimes harder to pick up curling later in life. It's something that a lot of families play. You see it often parents, grandparents, and children. So I'm not sure if that's the case for Megan, but it's nice to see her picking up the sport a bit later. See, another timeout is being called on sheet E. This is at least the 2nd, maybe 3rd, and we're just in the 5th end, so lots of rocks in play over there.
Man, nice job by the Jones team there to come in and sit 2, putting a lot of pressure on Team Carson right off the bat.
Yeah, 2 really nice shots from Lindsay. But if the Carson team can freeze on those 2 blue ones, or even tap them back a little bit, then they'll be sitting pretty good with a center line guard and another shot at the top of the house. Looks like they might be playing a hit here. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this call.
I definitely agree with you, Raquel. I think I would be throwing a more of a tap kind of shot here. They want to save as many rocks as they can.
This might be...
this one's out a bit more than maybe they want.
This might be one of those shots that they talk about after the game. Even if they would have been top 8, then they would have had a couple rocks that they could have run back. They really want to shrink down the scoring area for Jones. A force to 1 is good, and a steal is obviously good too. So they really just want to shrink down that scoring area. Jones is staying on the offense here.
The Jones team is definitely not afraid to have rocks in play, whether they're up or down, so.
They won the Super Spiel this year in Ottawa, which is a pretty big event. It's an international cash spiel. The Manuel team also won on the boys' side, Emily's brother. So it was nice to see 2 Nova Scotia teams bring it home in Ottawa.
This one's coming a little bit deeper than they might have wanted, but it's not a bad result. Definitely sets up themselves well to control that front of the tee line.
Yeah. Now it's more pressure on the Carson team. A freeze doesn't do them any good now, so really they're forced into hitting. So now they're in definitely a bit of trouble.
Nice throw here by Madison, and will get themselves out of a bit of trouble.
They're sweeping this hard. Something that this team is doing is they're having the outside sweeper closest to the rock. So Isabel was actually sweeping closer than Megan, which actually does make the rock curl a bit more. I know they don't have the directional fabric, so it's not as significant as it was in the past. So I'm not exactly sure why they don't have the opposite sweeper closest to the rock, they might think that maybe Madison is or Isabel is a stronger sweeper than the lead, but I think that the lead looks like a pretty good sweeper, so that might be a switch that they might want to make, because they did over curl on that, and the way they were brushing was helping it curl into that direction. So you can see here Kristen is sweeping closest to the rock, trying to get it to curl. They do have that yellow stone that they can promote there, so I think that's probably what they're looking at. If not, then they're looking at the peel. Not a bad option.
I think we have another timeout here, which I am definitely in favor of.
Yeah.
Might need to just talk a couple things out, figure out what the options are.
Might have to revisit what their goal is for this end. Most teams have a goal that they determine at the beginning of the end, whether that's steal one, force to one, get two. So they might just have to revisit what their goal is this end and call the shots accordingly.
I should mention that this is the Carson's team's second timeout, so no timeouts after this one. They are on their own, as they call it.
30 seconds.
You usually want to try and save some of your timeouts for later in the game, but if it's an important situation like this where you really don't want to give up a big end here, then that's why you'll see the coaches call them early in the game. If they give up really any more than two here, then it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. They'd really love to force the Jones team to a single point.
So it looks like they have chosen to run back their own yellow one into the blue, top blue one, I want to say.
I would say so, but even if they hit any of the blue ones, it's a
better outcome.
Better outcome. And their shooter should stick around somewhere that can be promoted as well. So if they make this like they want, they should have two yellow stones in usable positions.
It does look like they're throwing a really nice control weight here, which is a great call here. I would say that's a great throw.
That's a good shot.
Yeah.
They've bumped that blue into the open, so they can roll in off of that one now. I'm not sure if they'd be able to make a double, but they can definitely eliminate some of those blue ones and be sitting in the forefoot if they choose to do that on their next shot.
The big thing here, though, is that they saved their shooter, so it might bring that one into play later on if they move a little bit more granite.
I think the Jones team is guarding here. What do you think?
I would say they're guarding here.
Yeah.
They don't need any more points at this point. They're set up pretty well.
What do you think about this call? Are you a fan of this call?
I would say at this point, yes,
Yeah.
because a guard makes it a lot harder for the Jones team or for the Carson team to then try and move that yellow one that they want to promote. So definitely a favor of the guard.
They are sitting three, so that's what they're looking to protect here. They could have also peeled on their last one. They didn't talk about that, and I do understand the rationale for the guard, but they are up 2 points with hammer, so...
Oh.
Yeah, so they're just going to try and throw a quiet weight here and try and roll in here, and then the Jones, if they make this really good, the Jones team is going to have to make a decision on their next one. They just threw up a guard, and if this shot is made well, then their guard might not be helping them.
Hopefully they throw that same type of control weight that really allows the rock to get some curl out of it and maybe control it with the sweeping a little bit more. Maybe roll in there.
Just watching this one right now, but the weight looks pretty close.
Yeah, it looks very close. Hopefully they can get a little bit more curl out of it. Looks really close.
That's a really nice shot.
Well done. Great shot.
So Jones is just sitting 1. And I can't tell if they can see that yellow one or not.
I would say they can't, or if they can, it's only about a quarter of it. That blue guard there, it looks like it might be covering most of it. But again, our view from here might not be able to tell us the full story. Oh, there, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty well buried. So in hindsight, if Jones would have peeled their own guard on their last one instead of throwing another guard, then they would have had an easy job removing that stone, and then they probably would have gotten at least to this end. But now they're going to have to work hard. It's definitely still an option. They can still get at least 4 this end, but not at least. They could get up to 4 this end, but we'll just see what Kristen does here. Like we mentioned, this team isn't afraid to play with rocks in play.
I think they might be looking to tap that yellow one back out of play. But we need to see some curl from that rock in order for that to happen.
They just promoted the yellow to shot rock.
I believe that's shot rock now, yep.
So we'll probably see the Carson team guard here. They're talking about a couple different options. But there's certainly a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah. I definitely think the guard is the shot here. Because that yellow one is definitely fully buried now.
The yellow, it's not the easiest shot to remove. I don't know if any of it is available, but even if they can see a quarter of it, then they will be able to get it out, but then it would take out one of their blue stones on the side. Oh, there was a big score from Team Notting on Sheet E. They got 5. So that's a 9-2 lead for Notting over Moore. Still 5 ends to play, but Moore's going to have a bit of a battle.
Carson's guard coming here. They want to be careful not to bring it too deep, but get it over enough to be guarding the path there to draw in. And I would say that's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that's definitely where they wanted that one.
Looks like the Jones team might be taking a couple minutes just to chat as a team and try and figure out what the best option is here. I'm not sure what in the front they can run back to kind of give them a chance to get that yellow one out of there, but it looks like they might have either one of the blues there to run back if they want to. Looks like they've decided to call a timeout, call on Coach Andrew for a little bit of wisdom and advice.
So, is this their second timeout? Or first?
I think it might be their first.
First timeout.
Yeah.
So each team has already used some of their timeouts. Carson's team has used both of theirs, so they are done. The Jones team will still have one more to use in the second half of the game. Both teams are actually probably a little less time than they would like. The Carson team is currently at 18 minutes and 34 seconds with one more rock to come this end. Usually you'd like to see them at 20 minutes or more. The Jones team is at 20 minutes and 46 seconds, so they're right around the amount of time that you'd like to see. But we've had quite a few rocks in play these last few ones, so there's been lots of discussion.
Raquel, what do you think here?
I think that they're going to have to peel something. I don't know exactly what, but they need to be able to get in there. I wouldn't mind, well, you can run back that blue stone right of the center line.
Yes.
Hit it about 3/4 on the center line side, and you can pick out the yellow stone, that shot rock. Even if you hit it a bit high side, you should be able to clear a few things out there. But it is a bit risky. And then if you're still going to leave the rocks on the center line, which is the problem with that one. You could peel both of the blue rocks off just to open it up for yourself, but
Yeah, then that would definitely leave that yellow one exposed there if they were to ever pick out that right side guard
they're
on our screen anyways.
Are they peeling or doing a run back? I can't tell. Looks like the broom is there for a run back, but we'll see. We'll see what they play here.
I would say it's a run back at this point. Caitlin settling in the hack here.
This is her first shot of the 5th end. Looks like they're doing a
Double peel.
Yeah,
Nice shot.
it's a really good shot. Opens it up. She'll have some
something on her
options on her
last.
last. Yeah. Expect we'll probably see the Carson team just guard.
Yes.
They probably want to guard the yellow one top 8 because the Jones team can promote that into their own blue to get the yellow one out. But they also want to make sure they're guarding their shot rock as well, so they'll have to decide where they want this.
I would almost say that you'd want to have it
Cross
in
center
the,
line?
Yeah, like in the middle of those two yellows, so that you are guarding that run back and you are guarding that hit, so that they can't straight hit that shot rock out of there. Because that's definitely a possibility if they leave that open. Stephanie about to throw here. Would really like to see these guys clean their rock.
You never know when you're going to pick up some debris, and you're always kicking yourself if you weren't cleaning it and you get a pick.
There we go. We've got some clean. Yeah, little finish here. Definitely need to finish it. Get anything over. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's what they were calling.
I don't think. I think they wanted it to be a bit higher, but I think the
Not
girls.
a bad result.
No, not at all. I think the girls were a little bit hesitant to sweep just because the weight might have been a bit more than they were expecting.
They could have tried to get that to curl a little bit more, and then if they would have kind of chipped off that other yellow one, they could have kind of taken away 2 shots. But
Exactly.
it definitely makes this a tough shot here. I think there is a hole, but if they pick this good, it'll be for
2.
Yeah, it should be for 2.
It might only be for 1, actually.
because they their own might chip off the other one.
Exactly. So depending on some angles here, we might have anywhere from 1 to 3 points.
Yes.
Or possibly 4.
You never know.
You just never know.
The 6th end has resumed on sheet E. So the Moore team will be looking to rebound here. Even if they don't come back and win, they'll want to be finishing the game strong to move forward in their next one. They'll want to maybe get a deuce or 2.
Really sweeping on this one here. Not sure how.
Ooh,
Wow, good result.
that works.
Yep. 2.
Don't think that's what they were looking for, but plan B shot, and that is a deuce for the Jones team.
And that brings us to our 5th end break. We will be back in 5 minutes. Thanks for watching here with us, guys, on Bell TV1. Welcome back, everyone, to the 2017 Junior Women Provincial here at the Lakeshore Curling Club. I'm still Emily, and this is still Raquel.
We have not changed. We're still here.
We are still here. We're excited to have you guys back with us. Lindsay's going to start us off for the sixth end to play. We are halfway through the game now. If you're just joining us, welcome.
We are watching Jones versus Team Carson, formerly Team Reeves, but they did make a lineup change before the beginning of this event. We'll probably see a bit more of an open game. At least that's what Jones is going to be trying to do. They have a 4-point lead, but Reeves is going to want to get their deuce here, if not more. Game's certainly not over. Still got lots of game left to play. Just sliding a little bit deep there. Not the perfect shot, but not bad. When you're up a few points, you would like to try and keep them in front of the tee line because that's really just going to benefit Carson later in the game. They want as many rocks in play as possible. That was Megan who just delivered. Madison on the left and Isabel on the right.
Really need to go on this one. And it is just over the hog line. Good sweep there by Madison and Isabel.
Update from Sheet E. Team Notting still very much in control. Lots of yellow rocks in play and not too many blue. So
Lindsay looked like she might be sliding a little bit deep here.
Yeah, that's behind the tee line, so Getcha would have liked that. Top 4, top 8. Stephanie's calling for a hit here. I'm not sure if that's totally necessary. Those rocks are helping her. She could just throw another corner guard.
Or even draw around the guard. Yeah.
Could throw another corner. Could tap it back, make a little pocket. Something that some juniors, you just see rocks in play and you want to hit them, but those rocks are helping them.
Even a hit right on nose of that blue one is not a bad outcome as well.
Give another shout out to AMJ Campbell, who is the sponsor of this event, as well as Bellline TV1, providing this coverage of these great junior teams. You can tune in again at 4 o'clock to see the boys play, and the girls will be on again at 8 p.m.
They have elected to peel the yellow corner guard. Keep things clean, not give Carson too many opportunities.
Working hard on this one. Does roll out though, no problem. Carly has played second for most of her junior career, so she is a master of those peels.
Looking to get a little bit of a outside draw here, probably 8 foot. Split the house a bit.
Want to make sure these rocks are as even as possible. so that the Jones team doesn't have a double. It's a pretty good effort.
The Jones team is going to go for the double here. It's a little bit flatter than most doubles, but definitely doable. Just underneath that other yellow one. Really, really close.
Looked like a nice throw by Carly. Might have just needed a bit more ice there. It's pretty big weight as well.
Freeze on this one here. Girls really going on this one. Even in the house anywhere is not a bad outcome. That's a pretty close shot.
Jones is going to try the... Looks like they're just going to play the hit and roll. The double is there, but it is pretty steep, so they might not want to risk making the double.
Hit and roll is not a bad idea either because it brings the play over to that side.
Jones just wants to, they're going to try and keep Reeves to 1 here, but even if they give up 2, then they're still up 2 with the hammer, so.
We'll roll just a little bit far, so I believe Carson is sitting 1.
Carson shot stone here. I think they're going to try the same thing they just did.
I think I would be coming the same way.
Yes, not sure why they're changing the turn here. They just played it. Could just be a preference of turn from Madison to Isabel. But at this level, most curlers are the same both ways.
This one is sliding a little bit deep. Will it stick around? Not quite.
It's a bit of a miss there. Jones doesn't want to stick around on this one. That just gives the Carson team more rocks to work with. So they're just going to pick this out, roll their shooter out. If they end up taking off their 1 back gate on their way, then they won't have a problem with that. Just watching this one.
And that will be a flash.
Kristen has a pretty positive release, so she might have just been a bit out on that. But again, this ice is pretty straight, so still no big concern here for the Jones team. They're really not a danger in giving up any more than 2. Isabel's just going to have to adjust and take a bit off of her throw this time. Even if this is top 8, you don't have to be frozen. You just want the other team to have to deal with it.
Should be pretty close if they keep on it. Really got to go. Good sweep by the girls there.
There's really no easy double there. So they're going to have to be careful taking that one out. They could also hit out the yellow in the back with really no danger of jamming, but
I think that's what they're looking at.
they did just play a shot down here. Even though they didn't make it, they'll know how to adjust for this one. Maybe they'll just throw a little bit quieter here. Don't need to throw much weight.
We should mention too that on sheet E, the Notting team did get one, so they are now up 10-2 after 6 ends of play, so they're now in the 7th end.
So the Notting team has really been doing good the last 2 games. They also won their game last night by a significant amount. They won 10-3, and they're carrying that momentum here today.
Close hit and roll there.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
For sure.
Is behind the tee line, so it gives Carson something to work with. It looks like they might be freezing. They could also tap it back.
Open up a shot for maybe 3. And I think I did just hear Stephanie say tap is not a bad option either, so they know to throw a little bit more weight than maybe just a straight draw.
Exactly. Close. They're on and off.
Yeah.
Looks a little heavy though. Looks maybe like backline weight.
As long as it's on the rock though, this is not a bad outcome. Just to bump it back a bit.
Yeah, and that's a good shot.
Not a bad shot at all.
Probably see Jones attempt the double. But if she hits it on the nose, then they could give up 3. So have to be precise here. If anything, you want to be high side. Don't want to overcurl this. They're not taking much ice, but that's common for what we've seen so far this week.
Especially with that up weight, it tends to hang out a little bit more, so that less ice is not a bad call at all. Should be close. Really nice shot.
Well called by Kristen. They knew what that was going to do the whole way down, just sweeping it on and off.
Yeah, really great throw there.
So they're certainly happy with this end. Stephanie has to make a good shot for her one. Jones in full control. Of course, Kristen and Carly are the defending champs of this event. So they'll be looking to defend their title.
Stephanie coming out here. Looking for a draw to the 4-foot. Now we all wait in suspense.
Sweeping a little bit, but it looks close. They do
Looks
have
very
They have
close.
the one back 8 foot if they need it. I'm sure they're aware of that.
Really great shot. Slides in there nicely, and
done.
Carson gets their 1.
So we're going into the 7th end. Carson's going to be wanting to steal here, down 3 points. Can't really afford to give up too many more.
It's definitely a usable guard.
Overcurled a little bit from what they wanted, but it can't be removed, so they are happy with it. They'll have another try on their next one to get it on the center line, so.
Did the Jones team call a draw to the side or a guard here? I didn't.
I think they're coming around the
Yeah.
corner guard. They want to be careful not to be deep, though. They really want this above the tee line. If they're behind the tee line, then that would be helping the Carson team. So they'll have to be careful with this one.
It's looking like it's really curling here.
So not the result they were looking for. They could have elected to go open side on that with a 3-point lead in hammer. They really didn't need to play around that guard, but they were looking to set up a deuce. They're working hard on this one.
It's coming close there.
They don't need this in the house. A guard is fine. I think that's what they're going to get.
Definitely not a bad outcome on that one.
So they have lots of rocks in play, and Jones still can't peel any of those guards, so Carson's pretty happy.
Jones team has elected to draw around, which definitely goes back to our point of the Jones team is definitely not scared to have rocks in the house.
They could elect to play the tick shot, but we haven't seen them play any of those, so we're not sure if that's something that they practice. It's a pretty tough shot to master, so you don't usually see teams play it unless it's something that they work on a lot. I think this looks a little heavy. Lindsay maybe just overcompensating for her last shot. Different paths, so.
And that will slide back out.
The Reeves team hasn't updated, or the Carson team hasn't updated the scoreboard yet. We have it updated here, but they did get a point last end, just so people are aware of that. They still just need to hang it up above their sheet.
Looks like this one's coming in nice here.
That's a good shot. It's a bit behind the tee line, but it is buried. Looking to get rid of a few rocks in the front. If they get their blue one, that's fine. I think that's what Carly mentioned. lot of weight on this one.
A lot of weight on this one for sure. They'll only get the one there.
That's a good shot.
I think that was the shot, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think they planned on going off the blue. Carson team just looking to replace that guard.
They're probably just going to throw guards for the next couple shots here. They're going for the steal, so we're just going to keep forcing the Jones team to peel.
Good spot for that one there.
I think they're going to try the run back here. But if they just straight peel, that's fine as well. The one in the back 8 foot really isn't much danger to them.
Isabel up now with a guard on that shot rock in the back 8. Pretty straightforward end for Team Carson here. Just wanting to defend that back 8 rock with all of their guards here.
This one might be a little heavy. They're not sweeping it. So it's slipping in the house. They would have liked that in the 4 foot because Jones is going to have the opportunity to make a double now. And they're probably going to be able to hide around those corner guards, so a bit of an error. This is fast ice, so on those shots you always got to think that it's better to be light and let your sweepers carry it there. That's what they're there for, so the sweepers might have just jumped that one a little bit. Looks like Kristen threw it good. It just backed up a touch.
We'll leave that yellow rock a little bit buried now.
Not sure who shot rock. Must be the blue if they're going to hit that. Yeah, the blue is shot rock.
Really sweeping on this one, hoping it doesn't find that guard up there. Just
a bit of an overcurl. They weren't sweeping that one right away, so just missed the line call a little bit. It might have been a bit quieter than they thought it was.
And on sheet E, we will update you. Team Moore just got a big 4-ender there, so they're shrinking the scoring area. It's now 10-6. So we'll keep you updated on the action over there.
Lots of big ends over there.
Yeah.
So we've had a 4-ender, a 5-ender, and a 3-ender on that sheet. So there's 3 ends left, and could be anyone's game.
Oh, the joys of curling.
It's not over till it's over. There have been lots of rocks in play the whole game on sheet E, so that's where all those big ends have come from.
Kristen settling in here with a little bit of a run back, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing here. They're shot rock, so they could just be drawing. We'll see what happens here. They certainly don't want to hit their own out.
Yeah, I would say that was the call there. Great shot by Kristen.
Good shot. A bit of risk involved, but they played a nice down weight so they could control it.
What do you like here, Raquel?
They're talking about hitting, but they kind of need a steal here. They could use those corner guards and come to the one in the back of the 8-foot. They really only have to be buried and force the Jones team, but they're playing the hit and roll, which can accomplish the same result, so I don't mind this shot either. What do you think?
I mean, I think I agree, but I also am not opposed to that freezing to that back blue one.
Yeah.
Just because that is kind of their friend back there.
Yeah. When you're down points, you always like to be drawing instead of hitting, but it might just be a personal preference. We have seen Stephanie make some nice draws this game, though, so we know she can certainly make them.
It might have been a bit late on the line call here. I'm not sure if this is going to roll for them the right way. Be a little flop to the open side, so...
Yeah, just a bit of an overcurl there. Kristen and Caitlin are just looking to see if they knows that if they'll be second shot, and I believe they will be, but they're talking about rolling behind the corner guards. They just want to make sure they don't roll over too far, because then the Carson team will be able to freeze back there. So even if they just nose this, then that's a good shot. Really don't have to bury, but if they bury, then it'll give them a chance for 3. Fun fact on from Caitlin Jones here, Nova Scotia is the 5th province that she has lived in. Nova Scotia is the first province that I've lived in.
And the only province I've lived in.
I am currently studying at McMaster University in Ontario.
Really sweeping on this one here. Not sure if they're keeping the line or not, but I think it rolled just a touch open.
They are sitting 1 and 2, so good shot, but might not have wanted to roll quite that far.
I don't think Carson is too bothered by it, though. Their goal here is definitely to freeze to that back 8 blue one.
Fun fact about Stephanie, she has won under 15s 4 times, so that is a pretty significant feat. In 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016. So she is a provincial champion many times.
Light clean here, but I don't think they're wanting to touch it too much.
Looks a little hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes knowing that there's a rock that you can freeze to in the back can play in your mind a little bit, and you might lose a bit of focus on what you're actually trying to accomplish.
And that will slide just out. So this looks like a draw for 3 for Team Jones. Caitlin's settling into the hack, and just a nice draw. She's got a lot of room to draw 2, so full 8, full 4, button. It's a pretty nice shot here. Just a little light dusting, but I think it might be a bit hot.
Yeah, they're indicating that it's heavy here. So I'm sure we'll see Isabel work this one hard. Yeah. Bit of a miss there. Didn't get to use her sweepers. I'm sure they would have loved to sweep that one, but still 2 for Team Jones. That was their goal this end, so good end overall. So the score is now 8-3 for Jones over Carson.
If you're just joining us, this is the second draw for the women's Under-21 Provincial, and we are currently watching Team Jones take on Team Carson. This lovely coverage here is brought to you by Bell TV1, so we thank them so much for having been here this week.
You will also be able to watch the 2018 Nova Scotia Scotties on Bellline TV1 beginning Tuesday, January 9th from the Dartmouth Curling Club, as well as the 2018 Deloitte Tankard also beginning Tuesday, January 9th at the Dartmouth Curling Club. So you'll be able to see that online at Bell TV1, or you can catch the action live at the Dartmouth Curling Club.
Lindsay with a nice draw into the 4-foot there.
Perfect placement for that stone. Nice recovery from last end. She was just a bit heavy last end.
Carson team definitely looking to set up 2 corner guards and try and get some rocks in play.
This one's really sliding. Just a bit heavy. So Lindsay's just gonna hit this one out here. They don't really need to stick around, just a roll out is fine. Any rocks in play will be helping the Carson team. Nice release.
I do actually think they want to stick around. They want to be just sitting beside their other blue one, which I don't know if it's necessary, but just a straight nose on that.
Megan's just gonna try and adjust here and take her weight down. Looks like she has done that as the sweepers are working this one a little bit, but looks like the weight's pretty close. Just looking for a halfway guard.
Nice shot there. And Jones didn't even flinch. She's going for the peel.
Working this one a little bit, but lots of weight. I'm sure they'll be fine.
I almost think here that I might throw a back 8 kind of draw around that blue one.
Yeah.
See if you might be able to get some rocks in play.
They're guarding the open side. They could also guard the blue stone, which seems a bit counterintuitive to be guarding your opponent's stones, but then you'd be able to use that as well as their stone as a guard. You really want to junk it up as much as possible, so lots of options here. Jones' team is just gonna go up and peel this one, so sometimes nice to give them a different look at a peel as well.
Looks like it might be coming a little bit deep, actually. This one looks like it might be hanging out just a touch.
So that one's spinning lots after it just kind of ticked the back of that one, so it goes out pretty easily, but that one did hang out a bit more than they were expecting it to.
Carson team just looking to replace that guard again.
I believe this is their second shot, so they might switch up the game plan once their third Isabel starts to throw.
Carson team definitely looking for a miss out of the Jones team here on appeal, but they are peeling machines so far.
It's a good shot by Kristen, never a doubt.
Carson, again, looking to replace that guard.
And as we mentioned, they did already use both of their timeouts, so their coach doesn't have any more input for this game here, so
they are on their own.
The Carson team now has more time on the clock than the Jones team. At one point, the Jones team had 5 more minutes, but there's been quite a bit of discussion the last few ends. So Carson currently has 10 minutes and 7 seconds, and Jones has 8 minutes and 55 seconds. And again, that is the thinking time. So just when they're calling the shots, and then the clock stops once the rock crosses the tee line. Tee line at the throwing end. The Clark team does still, or sorry, the Jones team does have another timeout still, so that's a, I believe, 90-second timeout.
Yes. Yep. Or one 60-minute.
Would have been an interesting result there. I think that actually might help the Carson team a bit.
I was just going to say. Definitely in favor of Carson there.
They can
for that
now
outcome.
freeze to the one at the back of the 8-foot, and then the one at top 12 can act as a guard. So if they can make a nice freeze here, then Jones will probably have to throw a run back on the one top 12 in order to remove it. sweep here. I think they're calling for line, but again, they have the curling sweeper closest to the broom. A little heavy, so they're off of it now.
Looks like it might be close. That's a pretty good effort.
Just a couple feet heavy, but that was a good try.
So we do want to update you on Sheet E with the Moore nodding game. Team Moore did just steal another point, so slowly but surely coming back here. It's now 10-7.
And both teams for that game are in the 7-minute range on their time clock, so a little bit tight, but still lots of time to finish the game. You usually want about 4 minutes per end, and they have 2 ends to go, so they should both be okay.
Jones' team here just looking to remove that yellow back H shot stone. Good sweeping on that one there to keep the line.
So Stephanie's gonna try and do what Isabel did on the first one. Just freeze to the one at the back 12 there. Try and tuck a piece under cover. Even if you're not perfectly frozen, you just kind of want to bury your rock a bit.
Not touching it too much so far.
Wait, looks pretty close.
Yeah. Want to stay on so they don't lose the line on that. This looks really, really close.
Ooh, just touched it. I think they're just making those rocks curl a little bit with their sweeping technique.
Straight hit here for Jones. She can see all of that.
That was a really well thrown stone by Stephanie, so a little bit of a disappointment for them.
Yeah, definitely had the potential to set up an end there for them.
1 point here doesn't do them much good. Certainly better than giving up a steal, but they were really hoping to get their deuce here to get back in the game. This was a well-played end by Team Jones. They managed to keep everything clean.
This looks like it might be falling out just a touch. No worries there, though.
So now Stephanie's just gonna draw to the button here for a point. We saw her throw this shot 2 ends ago, so she knows what it's gonna do here.
Little on and off here. Must be close. Just need full 8 here.
They're working it hard, but it looks good.
Great shot by Stephanie.
Yeah, that's a nice shot.
Good team shot there.
So Stephanie's gone down to the other end. they're gonna play on and hope to steal a couple points here. That was the 8th end, so we still have 2 ends to play. They're gonna need to steal a couple here and a couple in the 10th end, but it's certainly possible. We've seen lots of rocks in play for much of this game, so Jones' team is gonna have to be careful not to let too many rocks accumulate.
Definitely looking to get a nice center line guard here. Looks pretty close. Nice shot by Megan.
Really nice shot. It's high enough that it leaves some room on her next shot to throw another guard around it. The 2 guards, and neither of them will be able to be peeled. And next year we're going to see the 5 rock rule in play, which will be interesting. So then I'll have to wait to peel after 1 more shot. So I'm sure lots of teams are looking forward to that. A little more rocks in play, a bit more excitement. That's what they do with the Grand Slam circuit. They've been doing that for a couple years now, so most of the pro teams are used to it.
I almost think they might be trying to do the tick shot here.
Yeah.
But just a little bit hot, I think.
Yeah, that's about board weight. Usually teams like to throw backline to hack on those, especially with lively rocks. Even if you hit that with board weight, just a quarter of it, it'd still probably go to the ring. So maybe just a bit of an overthrow.
Definitely the right call, though.
There's no risk in trying it.
Exactly. Megan just looking to make another nice guard here to set some stuff up. Girls sweeping it pretty hard. Definitely want to create some separation here, but looks like that might not be the case.
Not what they were hoping for, but they've got 2 rocks to work with up there, so it's not a bad result. There's not really an easy double peel on those ones. Looks like the Jones team has decided to just draw around now, switching up their game plan.
Looks like it's hanging out there a little bit more than they thought. They'll try and get it a little bit buried for sure. See Carly there.
Carly.
She really wanted to get that curl.
A little dusting at the end.
Yeah. Stephanie here taking a little bit more ice, probably throwing a little bit less weight, try and get a little bit more curl out of the rock, and maybe keep that blue one around as some backing.
Nice throw by Madison. She throws lots of rotation. Those ones will curl a little bit less, but they're usually a bit more predictable than a softer handle, so see lots of curlers throwing with more rotation these days.
Definitely need to go here. Get it as far as they can.
Does a good shot.
That is not a bad result at all.
Madison's played very well this game. All these girls have actually played really well, so it's nice to see. Even though the score is in favor of the Jones team, it's been a good game to commentate. There's been lots of good shot making, so it's always nice.
How thin is it on this turn? Like, I'm just wondering if this flash goes right back onto the team over the house.
Carly's just asking Caitlin about if there's any way to make the double, so we'll see if she can execute that, I believe. That's what they were discussing.
I think, too, she was wondering if there might be a way to ricochet off and kind of come into the house a bit more and maybe move around those 2 shot stones, but don't think Caitlin thought that was a possibility.
Hit that a bit thinner than it would have been close. That
Yeah,
was
exactly.
definitely a good thought by Carly.
For sure.
At this point of the game, really no risk in trying it.
No, not at all.
I think they're just throwing another guard here. They indicated a tap, but I think that might have been just talking down the line.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure of what the call is here. Looks like a guard. But it also looks like it might be a tap.
Sweeping this one.
Yeah, they are.
Looks like they're kind of in between a couple shots here. Might have been
I
playing
think
a
the goal was
freeze.
the freeze,
Okay.
yeah. And maybe bumping that blue one back a bit.
Wouldn't have mind seeing another guard here. We're still only on 2nd stone, so there's quite a few rocks left to play. You don't want to give them a chance for a double too soon in the end.
That's honestly not a bad spot, though.
No. Carly's going to throw this pretty hard, though, and
Yeah, she's gonna try and
might
move
be able to
everything.
get them all going.
Looks like that one's going out a bit more than they thought as well. She will only get the one there. That is a freeze. All right.
I think it might be a little early in the end for this, but if they lock it on there good, then the Jones team won't be able to remove either of them, so...
Definitely need a little bit of a curl here. There they go with the sweeping. Yeah, just needed a little bit more of a curl on that one and it would have been perfect. Really good attempt there by Team Carson.
They should be able to get all of these moving if they hit that on the nose. The yellow...
I think the
in
yellow
the
sticks
forefoot,
around, but
Yeah,
it might...
It'll spin over.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It will probably stay around in the 4 or 8 foot. They're talking about just straight picking now. They're a shot rock, I believe, but it's behind the tee line, so they don't really care if they keep it around or not.
And I will give you guys another update here on Sheet E. Team Moore with a steal of 2. So it is now 10-9 going into the 10th end here. So Moore is in full-on steal mode.
Yeah, this is why you don't shake hands early, kids.
If we can give you any advice here.
Keep playing until the bitter end. You never know what's going to happen.
Game is definitely in favor of Team Moore right now. They're really,
They got all the momentum right now.
for sure,
So,
on our feature game here.
side note.
Yeah. Carson looking to freeze, I believe, on that blue shot stone.
Yeah, Kristen made a good shot on her first one. She got both of those yellow ones out of the 4 foot area. One of them stuck around, but it's not counting. Not a bad shot.
Not at all.
this one to curl here.
It is
I
working.
think they're fine though.
Yeah. A little bit of panic there.
They wanted to make sure they stuck around for second shot, which is why they were trying to get it to curl at the end. But even if they would have rolled out, it wouldn't have been too concerning. If they can get a deuce here, they'll really put the game away. So that's what they're trying to accomplish here. Carson want to make a good freeze. This is her first shot.
They know this path, so definitely a straightforward shot. Definitely not easy. Need to make it perfect, but Stephanie definitely has her draw weight in her back pocket, so we'll see what happens here.
There's currently 3 rocks in the free guard zone on sheet E, so it's going to be an exciting finish on that sheet. We will keep you updated.
Stephanie coming just a bit short on that one there. It's definitely not in a bad spot by any means.
The winners of both of these games on the ice will meet in the A final. I believe that takes place tomorrow at 12 o'clock. It actually takes place, oh wait, 8 p.m. tonight. A final is tonight. The winner of these 2 games will meet.
I think the Jones team here is looking to come top 8, I want to say. Maybe half buried. Girls going hard on this one here. Looking to just tuck a piece underneath that yellow. It's a pretty good result.
Yeah, it's going to make it tough. There is a port there, but Stephanie is going to have to just maneuver that. Although, if she does get it buried under there, the Jones team will struggle getting out there. But they're talking about a run back, so they might not think that they can get through the hole. They haven't talked about it, but they could also use their guard guarding the edge of the forefoot. They could just draw around there. I don't know if they'd be able to get shot, but they could always try it. Really need a steal here, so I'm not sure if eliminating any blues will do them much good. I don't see any triple.
Yeah, they're looking at the draw now. Seems like they might be able to get shot.
Nice shot was just made on sheet E to clear the front, but Moore is currently sitting 3.
Not quite sure what the call is here. Not sure if they're looking to draw around the guard on...
Yeah, I think they're trying to go through that port and draw around the yellow guard.
Yes, I think I just heard, or saw Stephanie mouth the word draw.
Looks like it's a bit wide and heavy. So they're...
It's definitely going to be close.
Might need to play a little bit of a chisel.
Definitely going to be close.
Oh, it looks really good now.
They don't want to lose the line.
Need to be
Oh,
shot
that
off
was
here.
That was a little close for comfort, ladies. Not quite shot rock.
I just let that over curl a bit. If they would have been sweeping it, it would have been perfect. She threw great weight. They just lost the line a bit. So Jones with a chance for at least 2. I'm not sure. I think she's just drawing down to it. So chance for 2 here.
No real risk here. They are sitting 1, so this is just a nice,
Yeah.
almost free draw here.
They just saw Stephanie's, so they know the line. Curls a bit at the end, so they could try and tap it, but not really necessary.
Looks really close here. They're Dustin and keeping close to it, so I think the only thing they're waiting on is line here.
That's
Just a little bit deep there, but really, really close.
we'll see if they play on here, and a mercy and some handshakes. So Team Jones with the win over Team Carson. They will move on to the A final tonight at 8 p.m. The more nodding game just has a couple rocks left.
But I think we're going to be signing off here with our feature game, so you'll have to stay tuned to the online scores. But thanks so much for tuning in with us, and guess we'll be back at 4 p.m. with the boys' games.
Yeah, tune in.
Thanks so much for watching us on Bell TV 1. Bye.
I was like,